You better stay for number one. For real, you're gonna want to hear this story. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan and I'm your body piercer on the journey to losing 100 pounds. So, you heard it in my intro. Yes, I'm a body piercer. I've been body piercing for 13 years. I was thinking about these and it's so funny because most of this stuff happened like way early on in my career. I was the piercer in a tattoo studio, so I don't know if it brought like a different array of clientele. I figured I would share with you my top 5 memorable stories as a piercer. Huge disclaimer. If you do not like poop, puke, or the word vaginas, or any other anatomically correct word, go on to the other video. I will be back with another health and fitness video very soon for you. But tonight I'm gonna be really frank about things that have happened to me in a piercing situation. So grab a drink, you're gonna need it, and here we go. So number 5. I had an EMT come in, and people are usually a little on the nervous side. He was really nervous and he actually told me that he doesn't like needles. And believe me, that actually happens quite a bit. People want to get pierced, but they don't like needles. So he came in for a tongue piercing. I got his piercing all done and we were chatting, and then he told me he was starting to get a little dizzy. He was getting a little pale in the face, so I told him to stay in my room, and then I had to walk through the waiting room, through the tattoo room to get the water. I was all alone by myself at the time, so I go and I get the water, and then I come back out and he's standing in the waiting room, and I'm like, whoa, you know, you shouldn't be standing. And he went to say something to me, and just as he went to say something to me, he passed out. And he didn't just like pass out, he passed out like into me. So I caught him and I was like bringing him down to the ground in the waiting room, just as I'm like pretty much on top of this guy, because you're dead weight when you pass out. These people walk in to book a tattoo appointment. So now I'm like, I need water, I need you to go get this, I need you to go get that. And they're just like, oh, we're just here for a tattoo appointment. But I was all by myself, and I just can't imagine these people like, oh, we're going to book an appointment. And they walk in and there's this guy passed out on the ground, the piercer's on top of him. It was a crazy moment. And to this day, every time that guy sees me, he has to bring it up. It's really funny. Number 4, it involves poop. Disclaimer. So I used to run these college hours specifically for students that couldn't come during the day, and I would always do it from 7 to 9. These hours were always the craziest of hours. Again, I'm by myself. Why does this stuff always happen when I'm by myself? So there are students sitting on the floor, there are students wall to wall. It is the craziest day. So I go and I pierce this girl's septum, which is this. Might as well do a little anatomy while we're at it, learn something. She was fine. Everything was cool, and I used to have a chair that would sit next to my piercing chair. Hey, baby! So I getting her friend prepped, talking to her friend, still looking at the girl. She seems fine. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, she passes out. And she passes out so hard that she hit her head on the wall. This is why when you're getting pierced, the piercers are always like, chill. They don't want you to stand up, because at any moment, your blood pressure goes from here to here, and that's what causes you to pass out. Okay, we're not talking about that. Okay, so she passes out, and she comes to, and she looks at me, and she goes, I'm going to poop, with like this most serious face. Now again, my restroom is all the way through the waiting room, into the tattoo room, and then the bathroom is off to the side. I picked this girl up by her elbows. I picked her up and I ran her through the waiting room into the bathroom. I don't even know this girl. Totally don't even know this girl. Now I'm holding this girl on the toilet while she is having like the worst poops of her life. Like, I still look back on that moment, and now I have to like walk back out into this whole waiting room of college students that are all like, because they don't know just what happened. I mean, I just came and I just ran out with this girl and got her on the toilet, but everything was fine. Girl was fine. Piercing was fine. So of course, again, people are nervous. People are crazy nervous when it comes to getting their genitals pierced. Of course, most of the time you're just walking in my shop. We don't know each other. You're dropping your drawers and you're really exposing it all for all to see. And trust me, and a real professional is not gonna care. So again, if you're ever getting pierced, a little tidbit for you, we don't care. We've seen it all. So I get ready, I pierce the girl, and she flipped out and she smashed her leg shut. And I'm caught. I'm now caught in her knees and I can't move. And my face is like this close to all her lady bits. The needle is there and I'm just like girl, go, you gotta let your legs go, you gotta let your legs go. And she's like, I can't, I'm so nervous. And I'm like, the piercing is done, you just have to let go of the grips of death of your knees. As I'm like, like, again, it was just one of those moments where I'm like, did this really just happen? She ended up becoming, this is the first time I ever met her, she ended up becoming one of my best clients, and I still pierce her to this day. This one's puke. I'm telling you, people all the time are always like, oh, you remember me when I did this and I did that? I'm like, no, and you can't offend me. I've seen it all, I've smelled it all, I've been through it all. Like, nothing is going to offend me. But this one story, she ended up being a really, really good client. This was probably my first year into piercing, so I had never had this situation happen before. She was actually the hand holder. She was not even getting pierced. I pierced her friend's nose. Everything's cool, where, you know, I'm dabbing her friend, making sure that, you know, she's not bleeding, nothing like that. And all of a sudden her friend, the hand holder that's supposed to be the support out of this whole situation, tells me that she's not feeling good. And I'm trying to like get a garbage pail. I'm trying to get a garbage pail for her. I'm trying to like get it like quick and make sure that nothing's gonna happen. She walks out in the waiting room. She sits down in one of the waiting room chairs, and I'm trying so hard to get the garbage to her. And she doesn't just like hold her hand over her mouth like that. She ended up going like this, and throw up just went, it was like a freaking, it was like Linda Blair. It was just like, like completely like the most like that I've ever seen in my life. It was so crazy. She was so embarrassed. She started like crying. Her mother was getting tattooed. Her mother had to like come out and like help her poor daughter. It was oh god, that was crazy. Definitely, for sure, always eat. Please make sure you eat before you get a piercing. That can really help actually settle your stomach. And don't be the support if you can't handle the piercing, because I've had my supports pass out before. I've had my supports get really sick. So make sure if somebody wants you to come get a piercing with them, that you're able to do it. This story, what I'm about to tell you, will go down in the history of my piercing career as being the craziest thing that has ever happened to me. So I had a girl come in, and she wanted to get her VCH done, which is vertical clitoral hood. You don't actually pierce your clitoris, you pierce the hood above, the more you know. So she comes in. Most of the time women want to use the bathroom, and that's fine. You know, they want to freshen up, they want to make sure they're okay. So she asked to use our bathroom, and our bathroom was in the tattoo, off the tattoo room at the time. So she goes in there, and she's in there for like a long time. And you know, tattooist and I start looking at each other like, you know, is she doing drugs? Is she just, you know, is getting sick to her stomach? Does she have cold feet and she doesn't want to tell me? Like, the tattooist and I, like, we don't know what to do at this point. She probably was in there for like a good 15 minutes. So we finally knock on the door, and is like, hey, you know, are you okay in there? And she's like, yeah, I'll be right out. So she comes out into the tattoo room, and she's like, I'm sorry, I just had to shave first. You just went in there and you shaved your lady bits in our bathroom? Like, do you not do that before you get a piercing? So tidbit, don't shave your lady bits in the tattoos room. Make sure that your lady bits are shaved, and you know what? No one cares. Trust me, your piercer doesn't care. I've seen it all. So we go and we pierce her. I'm finishing up with her, I'm explaining her aftercare, and we're going through everything, and all of a sudden, the shop was upstairs. All of a sudden you hear like Sasquatch on the stairs. Like, whoever was coming up these stairs had a purpose, was doing something. It was like bam, 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 bam. It was the craziest thing. This woman flies into our shop, like, she's like on fire. She's got a baby on her hip, and all of a sudden she starts screaming at my client who I just pierced, like screaming, like not even coherent, like, you lied to me, you told me you were going to get you told me you were gonna do a tattoo appointment, you got pierced, you lied. Like, she was just screaming, nothing that the tattooist and I'm like, oh, I'm not messing with this lady. And then she just, like, as soon as she walks in, she walks out, she slammed our door as hard as she could, and then back down the stairs, like bam, 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 bam. And the client just looks at me, she's like, yeah, that's my grandmother. Like, no big deal. And then she pays and leaves, and me and the tattoo artist are just like, what the heck just happened, and that forever will be the #1 craziest experience that I've ever had as a piercer. Alright guys, there you have it for my 5 craziest moments as a piercer. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for another episode of Megan's Life.